Global News Brief, August Week 2, 2025, as the summer heat intensifies. So do the pressures on global political systems, economies, and international alliances, on from Washington to Beijing, from Tel Aviv to Tehran. The world seems to be entering a new phase of instability, innovation, and introspection. 1. Trump's comeback and the political aftershocks. This week, former President Donald Trump held a major rally in Texas, signaling his strongest intention to dominate the 2026 midterms and pave the way for another presidential run. Amid growing support from conservative voters, Trump declared the system failed us and we're taking it back. Not with words, but with action. His comments have sparked fresh debates about the integrity of the U.S. electoral system and the stability of democratic institutions. The Department of Homeland Security has reportedly increased monitoring of potential extremist activity, citing a surge in online chatter following Trump's speech. Are Americans truly prepared for a repeat of 2020's chaos, or something worse? 2. U.S.-China tech war escalates. President Biden signed an executive order tightening restrictions on semiconductor exports to China, specifically targeting AI development platforms. Response: Beijing called the move economic terrorism and announced retaliatory sanctions on U.S. rare earth mineral companies operating in the Asia-Pacific. Meanwhile, the global AI industry is bracing for a potential supply chain crunch. Major U.S. companies like NVIDIA and Intel saw stock dips of up to 3%, as analysts fear further decoupling between the two tech giants. The question lingers: is the world heading toward a new digital Iron Curtain? 3. Israel-Iran shadow war turns overt. Tensions between Israel and Iran escalated this week after an Israeli airstrike targeted a suspected Iranian weapons facility near Damascus. Tehran responded by launching a missile barrage at Israeli intelligence posts in the Golan Heights. The exchange has been the most direct military confrontation between the two nations in months. International observers warn that this tit-for-tat could escalate into a regional war, especially with Hezbollah mobilizing in southern Lebanon and the U.S. quietly increasing naval presence in the eastern Mediterranean. Are we already witnessing the early stages of a broader Middle Eastern conflict? Or just another volatile chapter in a decades-long Cold War? 4. Economic shockwaves: recession, stagflation, or transition. Despite better-than-expected job growth in July, consumer confidence is down, and inflation is ticking upward again. The Federal Reserve may consider another rate hike in September, although public trust in the Fed's strategy is waning. At the same time, BRICS nations are accelerating their push for a new trade currency with Brazil. And India, calling for a multipolar financial system to challenge U.S. dollar dominance. Could this be the beginning of the end for America's global financial supremacy? 5. Climate alarms ring louder this past week. Phoenix broke its all-time heat record with 26 consecutive days over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The UN issued a new report warning that if emissions trends continue, over 1.2 billion people could be displaced due to extreme heat and rising sea levels by 2050. Despite the warnings, fossil fuel investments increased globally by 6% in the past quarter, led by China and India. Environmental groups are calling this a suicidal contradiction, urging governments to abandon fossil expansion projects and invest in scalable green infrastructure. 6. Social shifts: gun violence and mental health. Another tragic mass shooting occurred in Chicago, leaving 8 dead and dozens injured at a local street festival. The suspect, a 22-year-old with known mental health issues, reignited debates on gun control, mental health access, and systemic failure. At a press conference, Mayor Brandon Johnson asked a piercing question: are we building a society that values lives, or just one that counts the dead? Meanwhile, the U.S. Surgeon General issued a rare advisory declaring loneliness and social disconnection as a growing epidemic. What's really plaguing American communities? Guns, mental health, or something deeper? 7. AI in society: from hope to dread. The launch of NovaMind, a next-generation generative AI that mimics human emotional responses, has raised both excitement and concern. Already, some major companies are using it for customer service, therapy, and even education. But critics fear we're accelerating toward emotional dependency on machines. Philosophers and ethicists are raising a chilling question. If AI can replace empathy, what becomes of humanity's soul? Global power realignments. Turkey announced the testing of its first hypersonic missile system, Typhoon 2, marking a strategic leap in regional military capability, coupled with its growing drone industry and space initiatives. Turkey is increasingly seen as a rising power between NATO, Russia, and the Islamic world. Elsewhere, North Korea resumed ballistic missile tests, and Russia reportedly deployed tactical nukes in Belarus. NATO spokesperson called it a direct threat to European stability. How many red lines must be crossed before diplomacy gives way to disaster? Conclusion. This week has reminded us of an essential truth. The world is not standing still. It is shifting, fast, violently, and unpredictable. Power is being contested, values questioned, and futures rewritten. As citizens, we must ask ourselves, are we paying attention, or are we sleepwalking into a storm?